Hello once again and welcome to the Hibee Buzz. I'm Angus Scott and once again we have a very, very special buzz for you today because as you can see, joining me is our owner, our chairman. It is good old Ron Golden. Ron, great to have you on the buzz.
It's great to be on, Angus. Thank you very much.
Hey, well, we really appreciate your time. We know how important, the club is to you now, but hey, look, You've had the club for a couple of years. It's been a difficult time to have it, but are you enjoying yourself?
Very much. I'm as excited as I was the first day. And, obviously COVID was, or the pandemic was not a particularly good time for us to be kind of sailing football. But ultimately, it was, just a great decision for me personally and to get involved and to be a part of Hibs. It's just been one of the most rewarding things in my life, to be honest with you. So I've enjoyed every minute of it, even the tough days. So it's been
well,
good.
that's good. That's good news. Look, you're in a beautiful city. How have you enjoyed Edinburgh?
I love Edinburgh. What a beautiful city. Actually, my line is a usual line, so I'm sure some of your viewers and listeners have heard this, but I mean, I was invested in a fantastic club in a beautiful city in a country that's absolutely crazy about football. So you can't really go too wrong with that. And obviously the city helps sell the club. I mean, what a setting for a football club. And Easter Road, right in the middle of the city, it's got so many assets, Hibs, apart from its history and incredible fan base. And it's just phenomenal, really, when you get down to it.
And Ron, I mean, what I think, and look, I openly admit I'm fresh to the club, and what I get a sense of is the excitement within the club, the fact that the rejuvenation that you have started at the club, and that you care and you want to build what is Hibs.
You know what? I agree. I hope that I'm glad that you're sensing that, because I hope that fans are sensing that. I'm extremely committed to Hibs. I want to do a great job. I'm a steward of the club, and I want to do a great job for the club. And obviously, I'm a high energy person anyway, so that's a good thing. And I think we laid out a really aspirational, an ambitious plan, but want to take the club to the next level. And it's a club that deserves to be at the next level. And hopefully we're not going to stop there. We're just going to keep moving forward. So there's a lot to do. And I think over the last couple of years, we've started to do many of the things that we set out to do.
What's at the top of your to-do list now, Ron? Because if you look at you instigating this big Deloitte's report that how can the SPFL make more money and double its revenues, that's what you want, to double your revenues within 3 to 5 years. How is that possible, and what is at the top of your to-do list?
Well, I mean, let's see what the review kind of comes back with, right? That's a little bit of the idea. I think one of the key components is going to be the broadcast side, because ultimately there's a lot of revenue there, and so we need to make sure that that's working at an optimum level. So that's one area. I do feel that the league can collaborate. I'd love to get more working together. I'd love to see if we can get more bigger brands, bigger UK brands, bigger Scottish brands in the game. A big thing for me is that this league is one of the best leagues, and for me, one of the best small leagues in Europe, one of the most exciting, most competitive, most passionate, for sure, leagues in Europe. And so that we don't tell that story, and I'd like us to be telling that story, so that people want to partner with us and say, you know what, if you're going to be in football, or you're going to be in Scotland, you need to be in football, because that's such an important part of Scottish society, that's really your touch point. So we want big brands to think, I'm in Scotland, I need to be in football.
And so that commercial growth is huge. I think one of the other things is the branding, as you say, the SPFL branding, the governance and the structure as well, and strategic projects. Those were the 4 key things that you want this report to look into, to basically come back and find more money to we're all build on this great product that is there.
I mean, I think obviously at the end of the day, hopefully whatever money we come to and grow to is going to trickle down to all the clubs. Hopefully it'll make the product on the pitch better. It'll make the game day experience and the experience just to be a football fan better. So that'll be great. On the branding side, I think the league, as I mentioned, is a phenomenal league, but we don't tell that story, I think, often enough. and we don't kind of brand it in a way that really kind of reflects the values and the excitement that's around the league. I mean, football in Scotland is very, very real, very authentic. It's competitive, it's gritty, it's got so many qualities to it that we don't tell that story. And to me, that's something that we need to be doing. On the structure, I'd love to see if there are different ways in which we can organize the league to be more effective, particularly on the commercial side. But if there are things that we can do, and again, we haven't prejudged anything. Deloitte is going to look at everything with an open mind, see what other leagues do, see what best practices are. I think they're going to look at the best leagues in Europe. They're going to look at sports in the United States and take a look. And then on the strategic initiatives, there are several things that I think we can look at. One is a development program, or a kind of a U23 or COLT program, so that we can help create a really sustainable development program for young Scottish players or young players that are in Scotland. Things like government relations, we do it, but I'd love to see if there are things that we could do there. What other things on the special initiative? I know that alcohol is an area that certainly the clubs that were in this original group, is something that we'd love to see change. I don't know if we can or not, but at least we're going to think about it and hopefully come up with some. The whole mission with the Deloitte initiative is they need to come back to us with actionable items, not this is the problem. We know what, I think we all know what some of the things are the problem. It needs to be prescriptive. It needs to be, these are the issues, and here are what we recommend we can do. And then we'll essentially present it to the league and to the clubs and see if there's an appetite to make all the changes, some of the changes, or maybe none of the changes.
Well, it's a brighter future. It's forward thinking. That is the good thing. And perhaps part of your forward thinking is clearly what happens with the squad. I think most of the fans would suggest you've done well to keep hold of some of the key players. And that's almost like signings in themselves.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, ultimately, priority numero uno for me is to be competitive. So we need to be competitive. And there may be a time when we need to move players, but ultimately, I think what we wanted to do is build on the squad that we have. We have a very good core squad. I think it's a much more balanced squad than it was a couple of years ago when I first arrived. It's certainly a younger squad, which we like that, because ultimately that's kind of a profile that we like as a club. And we want to be a club that is a pathway club, that young Scottish players, and you see it, or young players, but Scottish players like Kevin Nisbet and Josh Doig, they're getting a chance to play first team football. And we want to be the club that provides that opportunity. That's got to be a little bit of our culture and our mantra as a football club. So we want to keep them here as long as it's a positive thing for them and for the club. And we want to build on that. So being competitive is what drives some of these decisions. And then, I think, to be honest with you, this summer we've added quite in my opinion, some very good players that I think are going to strengthen the squad. Jake Doyle-Hayes, for example, has already demonstrated he's a terrific addition. We're very excited about Chris Mueller, that's coming from the United States at the end of the year. And then we have Mackay and Tate, two young Scottish players with a lot of potential that we're excited about. So I think all in all, not too bad. And we started the summer window with a good core already. So that was a positive.
Well, I think the fans will be delighted that the window is closed with the additions that have come, and also that one man who's perhaps the main striker at the squad at the moment, Kevin Nisbet, who's setting his sights high this season.
I think the gaffer keeping all the assets as well. Like, it's massive for the club. We were great last season, and it's similar the same season at the team this year. So yeah, it's obviously good having the same core of players for a long time now who we're used to each other playing. I think we started last season well, and we've started this season very well as well. So yeah, things are looking up.
Certainly that momentum, particularly in the final third, from the back end of last season into this season. You're in excellent form. Martin scoring goals. Kyle's weighed in with a few as well, aside from Christian's injury. Of course, everything feels like it's ticking in the final third.
Yeah, I think so. I think last season I think the onus was all on me, Boyley and Doidge, but now you see like Ginto chipping in and Porto chipping in as well. That helps us a lot, and especially with Doidge being injured. Hopefully, I can get back sooner rather than later. I think it will help us get in, and it will just be like basically a fresh signing for us.
What are your personal expectations or goals for the season?
I don't really do any until after Christmas. I've done it for the last few years, so it's worked. So I'll just keep doing that.
To see him in green and white, Ron, is huge for this club.
No, I mean, I agree. I think there's an element of his play that I think is, you can see that he's a player that has some special qualities. I think obviously he had a very good season last year, and he's having a good season this year. We're just getting started, so hopefully he'll generate more excitement and kind of grow into the season. But last year he contributed in a very, very big way. And to be honest with you, I'm very happy that he stayed at the club. Perhaps that was a little bit of a difficult conversation, but this is in January. But I think the club is the right place for him right now, and I hope he feels that way too. I think he gave him an opportunity to make the Scotland team, which is important for his career and for the club. So I think all in all, we're in a good place with him, and I can only see him getting better.
And clearly you have every confidence in Jack being able to fulfill everything that you want. So you're building up those young players, but also keeping the likes of Kevin and the boys who are the more senior members of the squad happy.
I think so. I mean, ultimately, we can go for the young. So we've actually lowered the average age of the club significantly over the last couple of years, but you still need the Paul Hanlons, the Louis Stevensons, the Darren McGregors, the Joe Newells, the Martin Boyles. I mean, these players have experience, maturity. They bring a stability to the squad. It's important to find the right balance. And one of the things I like about Jack mentions this when we have conversations about this thing. So it's always important you need the experience, you need the maturity, you need players who have been through many, many games and have lived it. And it's also their mentors and their examples, role models for the younger players. So people like Kevin and Josh Doig and Kyle, although Kyle has played a lot of games, they're able to see, kind of what are the right attributes and the work ethic and all the kinds of things that make a successful player.
And what is also great, Ron, you're not just concentrating on the men's game. The fact that the women will be playing at Easter Road in the Edinburgh Derby next week is it 5,000 tickets already gone?
Yes, we have over 5,000. Over 5,000 tickets. It's great. I hope we're going to break the record. Well, we're going to definitely break the record. I hope so. And it's going to be very exciting for the women's team. I mean, it's great to have him here. This is, I think it's just going to be a lot of energy. As far as I know, it's the first women's derby, which is going to be great. So it's just going to be great to just kind of energize the stadium with the women's game, because I think one of the things that we're looking to do is bring the women's game under the football department, and that's really where it belongs. Right now it sits with the Community Foundation, which has done a great job taking it to where it is. But I think that the time is right here within the kind of maybe not immediate future, but kind of near future to do something with it and move it into the club, basically. I think it's going to be great.
I know. I mean, the women in the whole setup and the squad and Dean Gibson and everyone is really excited about this game. And Gabby English, our goalkeeper, is certainly one of those.
I can't even put it into words. I mean, look at this field. It's a great honor that we have the opportunity to play here in front of Edinburgh and the fans, and hopefully we'll get a good show out and a good shutout. So I'm super excited, yeah.
Came down at the weekend, down here again today to look at the pitch up close and personal. What are your thoughts of Easter Road? It's a fantastic stadium.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is like carpet. This is beautiful grass. I'm so excited to play on it. I will say this probably will be one of the nicest fields I not only will play on, but ever step foot on. So I'm so excited.
And we're looking to break a record. What's your message to Hibee's fans ahead of the game about the importance of coming out and supporting Hibernian women?
I mean, it speaks for itself. Come out and support, especially young girls who have dreams of playing on the stage. I encourage parents to bring them out, because I remember when I was a kid, being from Orlando, we had the Orlando Pride, and going out and watching them in person, it almost created this inspiration to want to get out on the field and get to that level. So I not only encourage everybody in Edinburgh to come and support our team, but especially those youth and those young girls. And so the more we get out, the more the youth will be inspired to get to this stage, and the more rally we'll have behind our team and an exciting show out. So.
And the team are in incredible form.
Oh, absolutely. I love these girls. Every day we train as hard as we can. We put our bodies on the line for each other. I would say we're more than teammates. We play out there like we're family. So that's something that you can't just create by bringing people together. So that chemistry that we have, I think, will definitely give us an edge.
And you're a goalkeeper, and I should therefore be asking you your thoughts on either Matt Macey or Kevin Dabrowski, but a little birdie tells me that you've got a historical connection with Joe Hart.
Yes, 13-year-old me, man crush Monday. I adore Joe Hart. He is the king of the split save. That's so funny. So if he sees this, I'm embarrassed. But yeah, so actually I think they play Hibs October 27th at home. So you'll definitely see me in the stands. Obviously cheering for Hibs, but I'd like to see a couple good saves from Joe Hart. But yeah, I enjoy watching Matt Macey too. When I first stepped out, I was like, oh my gosh, his head is about to hit the post. It's like, what is he, like 6'7"? Oh my gosh, incredible. He's got amazing range on crosses. His distribution is amazing. I think he hits it, like 90 yards? So I applaud him. Great goalkeeper too. So that game will definitely have some good action from both goals.
She's very, very dynamic. I went to a women's game a couple of weeks ago. She chats a lot. She tells everybody, she bosses everyone around, which is great. That's what you want your goalkeeper to do. And actually, I went to watch the women's game a few weeks ago. And they played Spartans. Great game. They were really, really good. We have a very good squad. I'm very excited. So that was it was fun to go.
Ron, you're heading back to the US shortly. You're going to miss it here.
I am. So, but I told one of the biggest responsibilities for me and this trip was to bring a new CEO to the club and help him settle in. And I think Ben has done a great job of settling in, and he's a very dynamic leader as well. So I'm excited that he's here. And I told him the other day, I said, it's going to be good for me to go away a little bit and you get a little space. You don't have to see me around. Although he said, no, I'd like you to stay, but I think he was just being nice. But I think it's good. It's good to get a little breather for everyone, and we'll all get a little perspective, right? Everybody gets a different vantage point from far away. And I think it's healthy and it'll be good. And I'll be back. And so it's not like I'm going away for, forever. I certainly hope not. So it's good.
We need you back. We need you back. But you'll be watching this weekend, no doubt, the Ryder Cup that's on up in Wisconsin.
Yes. It's going to be great. It's one of my favorite sporting events, to be honest.
It's a terrific weekend. I just wonder if you put your Hibs hat on, Ron, whether you've got divided loyalties for the weekend.
A little bit of divided loyalties. I mean, it's going to be competitive. I mean, I honestly think it's going to. It always is. Well, you never know, but it is competitive.
Yeah.
And I was just commenting with some other journalists. I think the American mindset is so individualistic that they have a very hard time being a team. Yeah. I mean, it's just Americans think as individuals, which is one of the things. It's both good and bad. Where I think Europeans are much more collective. They think more as a society. They're I think designed for it's a better design for the Ryder Cup. So I always think that Europe has a bit of an edge in that respect, but it's in the US. The crowds are going to be, because Europeans can't come to the US, and there are going to be too many Europeans there, although I'm sure there are plenty of Europeans that live there that could come. So let's see, but it'll be an exciting event nonetheless.
Okay, it's one of the highlights of the sporting calendar, definitely. Apart from an Edinburgh derby or something like that.
An Edinburgh derby, yes. And our game against St. Johnstone on Sunday. That's very important.
Every game is important, that, and it's what you say. It's very interesting about the Americans being individuals, but clearly what you're trying to generate. And that you have done behind the scenes is this great team ethic, that you want this team working together for the good of Hibs.
Absolutely. I mean, nobody makes it alone. Nobody. You need a team. You need a support. Even if you're Tiger Woods or a golfer that's an individual sport, you need people to support you to make you get to your best you. And it's not any different at Hibs. We need to have a collective. We need to have a team that's really good, that's very dedicated and committed to being the best that we can be. And I think we're moving in that direction. We have a great team, and I think the club. I hope supporters are sensing that the club is moving at a very good clip in a good direction.
And what is achievable finally, Ron?
Well, I mean, I obviously we've made some investments in the over the last year or so in the game day experience. So creating a really good game day experience is very achievable from my perspective, or a better game day experience. New kiosks, the new PA system, the new screens, which I think were a big hit last week.
I think they were fantastic, right? I think as a fan experience, it changes it completely.
It does. So I think that gives us a little bit of. We're going to be doing some additional work in the stadium, and so coming to Easter Road is going to be more of an event. We want you to enjoy the whole experience. So that's achievable from that perspective. I think the commercial team that we have right now is we need to muscle it up. So we're going to be doing that. And hopefully we're going to have stronger partnerships with brands here in Edinburgh, as well as Scotland and the UK. And so we're going to grow that. Our communications team is muscled up a little bit, and that's already, I think, producing better content, more content, and more engagement with our fans, which is fantastic. I mean, there are just a lot of areas where I think the club is, from a business perspective, moving in the right direction. And then from a sporting perspective, as we discussed a little bit earlier, we're a competitive team. I mean, we're in a good place in the table. The league, there's no team that hasn't dropped points. So the league is much more competitive. So it's going to be not an easy season. It's going to be a competitive season. But I think we're in a position where we can compete. And so for us, as you know, and as I've mentioned to supporters, finishing at the top four is our goal. Trying to make the semifinals of every cup is a goal. That's what we should shoot for as a minimum. And certainly since I've been here, we've been to every cup semifinal. But I think we're in a good place with on the sporting front as well, which is great.
Which is great stuff.
And quite honestly, I feel that we have a very steady hand in Jack Ross, who's a good manager. He's able to really kind of manage our boys in a way that they deliver for him. They play a good brand of football, and we're hopefully going to continue to improve everything around the squad so that we can continue to move in that direction.
It's great to hear, Ron. The progress that comes off the pitch helps on the pitch as well, and that's what we look forward to, and seeing the club go from strength to strength under your stewardship, which would be amazing. And in fact, as one of those sponsors, Eden Mill, our Matchday Gin sponsor, we're giving away another bottle of that this week. And so if you want to win a bottle of Eden Mill Matchday Gin, then put your comment below this video on YouTube, and we will be giving a bottle to somebody next week. All it leaves me to say, Ron, is thank you very much indeed for joining us. It is great to have you on the Buzz. I hope you and the fans continue to enjoy watching the Buzz each week. We try and give as much information as we can about the club.
No, I love it. I love it. Very good.
Obviously, people like you, the main man around, it just helps the fans, and that communication is great stuff.
Very good. Well, invite me again, Angus, and I'll be happy to come.
You're a good man. Thank you, Ron. We will
Very
definitely
good.
It's an open invitation. Safe flight home when you do go home, and we will see you very soon.
Thank you very much, Angus. Take care. Be good.
All the best. Thanks, Ron. And thank you, everyone, for watching. We're back next week with the Hibee Buzz. Bye-bye.